to introduce our speaker for this morning's service. Reverend Rick Brown is a staff minister at the Huntington Beach Center for Spiritual Living in Huntington Beach, California. Before then, he served as a practitioner and board president at the Seal Beach Center for Spiritual Living. He worked professionally in the high technology field and enjoys hobbies of golf and photography. He has 4 adult children, Ryan, Chad, Jamie, and Christy, and 4 grandchildren, Callie, Jackson, Kaya, and Jordan. And before Rick comes up, I would like to read this beautiful note that Reverend Charlene shared about Rick. I met Rick on my first night of class as a ministerial student. I was really nervous. Rick approached me immediately, offered me a little goodie bag of sweets, and I felt so welcomed. I chose to always sit by him, a newbie student, and I felt really secure in his presence. This is the superpower of Reverend Rick Brown, comfort and acceptance. He loves so powerfully. His ministry is of understanding, acceptance, and love. I am so happy he is here today with our CSL TV family. I love you, Rick. Have some fun. Please join me in giving a very warm CSL TV welcome to Reverend Rick Brown.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Quite the welcome. I really enjoyed the lady and 2 guys in the stage. And I couldn't help it. That song reminds me of the movie Scrooged. And one of my favorite movies. And so every time I hear this great music, I'm like, why do I need to get up here? Let's just have more music. Let's turn it into a concert. So thank you. I'm so grateful for being here. I enjoy spending time with you. And I have a message for you today. And my title is Love is the Answer, Not Just a Tagline. And so if I say, just do it, what do you think of? Nike. So that is a tagline. So over the time, that tagline came out during the Michael Jordan time in the mid-80s, mid-1980s. And so people started grasping the tagline and then started trying to wrap a meaning around it. But Nike got what they wanted, so you say just do it, and then you remember Nike and you go buy their shoes, right? And so my title, Love is the Answer, is I want to do a call to action for you to experience love in your life. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you about. I have a few things to share with you. I like movies, as you can probably guess, and I always have a movie reference, and so today is not going to be any different than that. So the movie that I picked to talk about today, and you might wonder, well, he's got this time to come up here and talk to you. Why in the world would he want to recap a movie for me? And so I'll answer that question for you. For me, what movies do is ignite your imagination. And so yes, it is a controlled outcome and all of those things are controlled, but in actuality, it's like a playground of your imagination. And so we know that our mind creates. And so if you see in a movie something special or something that really means a lot to you, even though it's a movie, you can create that specialness in your own life. So that's why I use movies as a reference. And so today's movie is Walk to Remember. Does anybody remember that movie? Yes. And so it was a movie, it was quite a while ago, and it was about kind of a guy looking for all the attention and being a bad boy in high school so that he could get all this attention. And then there was the girl, which was Mandy Moore, Jamie, and so she just kind of kept to herself and kind of got made fun of because she was plain and she just didn't really interact with anybody. She just went about her time at school. Well, through the movie, and I won't give you the full recap because it's 90 minutes, so I'm going to crunch it down a little bit. But anyway, so Landon, which is the high school kid, he gets an appreciation for her and starts. She gave him a requirement. I'll work with you on this play that we're going to do under one condition: you don't fall in love with me. And so that was the requirement. Well, he didn't come through with that. He did fall in love with her. And the neat part about the movie is that interaction and connection happened without knowing anything really about Jamie. And then as the movie progresses, you learn that Jamie has leukemia and that she's probably not going to make it, and that her doctor said make the best of your time. Well, she wants to be considerate of Landon because she's not going to be around, so she doesn't want that love that he has to offer because she doesn't want to hurt him. Well, it ends up that he does fall in love, and they got closer and closer and closer, and he found out about her medical issue, and it didn't change him at all. He just became more and more loving to her and did some fun projects of things. She wanted to see a comet before she left, so he constructed a telescope to take a look at it, and she was able to see that. And then, yes, it's a sad ending. She does pass away, but she wanted to see a miracle. She wanted to experience a miracle. And so at the end of the movie, after all this time has passed, then Landon is talking to Jamie's dad and saying, well, I'm just sorry that she never got her miracle. And then Landon's dad said, well, she did. You are the miracle. Aww. And so it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And so they also kind of, modernized Corinthians 13. And so I want to share with you their modernized version, because it really resonated with me. I mean, the original did too. I read it at weddings and just strikes a chord about what love is. But just take a listen to this. It's their adaptation of it. Love is always patient and kind. It is never jealous. Love is never boastful or conceited. It is never rude or selfish. It does not take offense and is not resentful. Love takes no pleasure in other people's shortcomings, but delights in the truth. It is always ready to excuse, to trust, to hope, and to endure whatever comes. So I think they did pretty good on that rewriting of that. And for me, it just lights a spark within me. Because love, I heard something the other day that I really liked, and I kind of adapted it for me because I can, because I'm standing up here. But love has no prerequisites. Love has no prerequisites. And so we're in February, and we always associate red and hearts and love and all the, getting the Hallmark cards on the 14th. All that stuff happens on the 14th. But imagine if we sought to demonstrate that love every day, not just for February or not just for February 14th. And if you're in a position to love, and you're in a position to reach out to people, then the people will come to you because they need that love. So I had an opportunity a few times in my life where I encountered people that did not want to live. They were done. They're like, I don't want to be here anymore. And so all I could do was love them. And that's what I did. I loved them, I listened to them, and I wasn't one to say you can't do this or you gotta stay, because if somebody's in that position, that's the last thing that they want to hear. But what song and feelings rang out to these individuals was love. And I just grasped it in love, and I was there, and so fortunately they didn't follow through. Fortunately, they didn't follow through with what they were doing, where they were going. But for me, you have to be in that position of love in order to have people come to you and attract to you. In other words, being loving and sharing love and that compassion in your heart has to always be present. It's not a switch, February 14th, okay, love everybody, all right. 15th, turn that thing off, we're done with that. It's not like that. It has to be on all the time. And so we sometimes can have things easy, right, where we have family and friends. It's easy to turn on that love switch. But what about in your work environment? What about the person that cuts you off in the freeway? What about that group of people that have caused an accident in front and are causing you to be late? What about things that happen in line in the grocery store? And we have all of these examples where it's a little bit harder to turn that switch on. But what happens is if you realize that you can hardwire the switch to always be on, you don't have to worry about turning it on and turning it off. It's just always there. And it really helps your perspective, and it helps everybody around you. And I found this I gotta always share Ernest, Ernest has some good things to say. And so it's not what's the best thing to say about, from Ernest, it's what to pick from, because he has so much material. So I have another quote from him, and it's an affirmation that I'd like to share with you. There is nothing within me that can keep love from operating through me. I know that the love which is of God meets me at every turn in the road, and I realize that it would be impossible for this love to meet me from every source and enter my being unless I first gave out the same love. Therefore, I endeavor to love all humanity and to see the divine image in everyone. Ernest comes up with some pretty good stuff, doesn't he? But it's a call to action. Love is not passive. Love is not, I'll do it every once in a while. I'll do it for that person because I like them. Oh yeah, I love them. It's not an optional activity. It's something that you have to engage in and you have to embrace, and it has to become part of your life. I have a saying, and I can't remember if I mentioned it the last time I was here, but I always talk about it. My saying is, happiness is a choice, and I choose happy. And so maybe I can say, love is a choice, and I choose love. Why don't you guys say that with me? Love is a choice, and I choose love. Do you feel empowered?
Yes. Yes.
Are you ready to love?
Yes. Yes.
Good. So I had an experience this past weekend, just before I came here. My granddaughter, Taya, her mom is a single parent raising her, and so she lives locally to me. And so we did a sleepover, and Taya's 8 years old. And so she came over. There's a little earpiece there. So she came over for a sleepover. And so we had so much fun together. And the old guy and the young kid. And it was really neat. The other day I was in Huntington Beach, and somebody commented that the love that you have for your granddaughter and your granddaughter has for you just emanates from you. And in our smiles and in our being together, it's really neat. You know, I'm this big guy and she's 8, and I reach down here to hold her hand. We walk around holding her hand, and we just talk. we just talk and we have a good time. And we play card games. There's one called Five Crowns. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that one. But she always beats me. Always beats me. We taught her that game, but I prevailed. Yesterday I prevailed. Finally. And then I asked her, "Are you okay with that?" And she says, "Well, not really." But then it was like, okay, let's play another game. And so, but that love that you have for family is something that a lot of us take for granted. But do you express that love to your family? So that's the easiest, right? That's the easiest place to express love. There's a place that's harder to express love. It is harder. And that's expressing love to yourself. We're pretty harsh on ourselves, pretty harsh. It's like, why do we do this? Why, this is just too much. And I bet if I asked each one of you to stand up and tell me something that you didn't like about yourself, you could make a list. And if I asked you to stand up and say, tell me one thing that you love about yourself, you would come up with it, but not nearly as fast as the list of things that you weren't satisfied with. So let's flip the tables. Let's spend that time looking at the things that are positive to us, looking for the things that we love about ourselves. And guess what happens? We start smiling. We start enjoying life. We start having a good time. And then those moments that we have, whether they're moments by ourselves, are there moments with other people, we enjoy it. Now, the big challenge after the family, so here we have love with ourselves, love with our families, and then love outside of the family. How many of you feel love when you walk through the doors here on Sunday? Okay, I'm good. I only had one in the back room. I was going to worry about it. That's good. We got some hands going on. And that's because we're safe here. This is safe ground. We know what to expect. We know that people are not going to be critical of us. They're not going to be talking about us behind our back. And so it's just a place of love. It's a safe place. And so imagine if you didn't have this sanctuary to come to each Sunday. It would be hard. I mean, I know it's hard for me. I mean, I try to be in a sanctuary every Sunday because I get charged up. I really get charged up. And then back in Huntington Beach, I do a Wednesday service where we just talk. Something they call it a fireside chat. But it just charges us up for the week. But imagine how well you could be charged up as every person charged you up. How many of you would be willing to take that on as a goal? I will let everybody charge me up. And like, yeah, right. You keep talking, Reverend. We'll see you with the snacks over there. But it's not that you're going to be friendly and love everybody, but that's your perspective. That's your intention. And so, of course, you're going to come across people that you express love to, and they have so much internal pain that they're not going to even acknowledge you. They may even get mad at you. You show them too much attention and affection, and they actually get mad at you because it touches something within them that they can't touch themselves. And so the idea is, they have this armor. We all have armor, right? And we give it the excuse that that's what society made us do. Put on this armor so we can be the best. We can not show our weaknesses, not show anything. Just be strong, because if we don't, then we're seen as weak. And then they get that whole story of survival of the fittest thing. Well, that's all hogwash. It's all. You need to be vulnerable. You need to love, because love always prevails. It always prevails. And so as you go about life, look at the opportunities within your family. If you haven't loved your family members, does anybody have that one uncle or that one person that if they come to Thanksgiving dinner, man, all bets are off. Do you have that person? You have that person? All right. Let's try to love that person. Try to love that person. And even yourself, you know. If you have those moments when nobody's around and you're being overly critical of yourself, let's turn it around. And who's there that can turn it around? You are. You're the only one there. Sometimes people think they have voices and have more than one there. But there is only one there. There is only one there. And then whenever you go out and you approach the outside of your family, outside of yourself, look for opportunities to share love. Look for opportunities to smile. How many of you smile at people just to make them smile? They did a study about that. They did a study that said, I forget what the percentage is. I can make it up, but okay, I'll make it up. 75%. No. But most people, if you smile at them, they can't help but smile back. And the only ones that don't smile back are the ones that have so much pain within themselves that they can't smile back. And guess what? That's your cue. Love them to death. Love them to death. And so as we go through February and March and April, May. So make it a commitment that every day is going to be a day that you love. A day that you love yourself, a day that you love your family, a day that you love everyone. It is not an insurmountable task. You can love everyone. It's been done before. It's been done before. You are not breaking new ground here. You're just joining a lot of great people that discovered how to do that. And I have another one from Holmes. You know, I like Holmes. Holmes is my rock in a lot of different areas because he just, there's some areas he just doesn't mess around. He just like tells it like it is and you go, okay, next chapter. But this one I really liked. When peace, harmony, and love rule in our thinking, we know they will register in our lives as effect, bringing health, happiness, and prosperity. So, hopefully you realize today that my message is love. And that you can express it freely. And really it doesn't matter if it's received, but guess what? It's always received. Because who's always receiving the love you give? Yourself. And who's receiving it also is those that really need it. Those people that I talked to that gave up, you know, they gave up. And they didn't have the love in them for themselves or love for anything. Because they were focused on an issue. They were focused on something that was negative. To turn that around, and sometimes you can't even use words. Sometimes the words don't even work. You just have to be there. You just have to be a present for them. One thing that I like and say often as a practitioner is I know the divine spark of God is in you. I know it with everything that I know. And if you don't know it for yourself, I will know it for you until you realize it. And so let's also do that with love. There is love in every one of us, and there is love to express. So let's bring that love out of each other, and let's love ourselves and others, and let's make a difference. Let's make a difference in love. And I always, always close my comments with something that I hope resonates with you all, which is you are never alone, and you are always loved.
Thank you.
And so